Hey everybody, this is this year's last first chapter reading, and since it is prom season, we are going to do something kind of festive this week. So this week's book is called Prom and Prejudice by Elizabeth Eulberg. So I know you're probably like, I'm not interested in prom, but give it a second. This is actually a rewrite of a very old classic novel, and it is very much told from the perspective of both a girl and a boy who is greatly misunderstood by the females that he interacts with. So it will definitely appeal to everybody, not just to girls. Here we go. Chapter 1. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single girl of high standing at Longbourn Academy must be in want of a prom date. While the same can probably be said of countless other schools across the country, prom at Longbourn isn't just a rite of passage. It's considered by many, at least those who matter, to be the social event for future members of high society. Longbourn girls don't just go to the mall to get their dresses. No, they boast couture from designers whose names adorn their speed dial. Just look at the glossy 6-page spread dedicated to more than a century of prom history in Longbourn's recruitment brochure, or the yearly coverage in the New York Times Sunday Style section, or Vanity Fair, or Vogue. Fashion reporters and photographers flock to the Connecticut campus to scope out the fashion, the excess, and the glamour of it all. It is Fashion Week for the Silver Spoon set. The tradition started in 1895, the first year Longbourn opened its doors. Originally set up as a finishing school for proper ladies, the founders realized they needed to have an event to usher their students into the elite world. And while girls nowadays don't really need to be formally welcomed into society, nobody wants to give up a weekend long excuse to dress up and attempt to outshine one another. Friday night is the reception, where couples, consisting of Longbourn girls and, for the most part, boys from the neighboring Pemberley Academy, are introduced. Saturday night is the main event, and Sunday afternoon is a brunch where reporters interview the students about the previous evening. Students become fixated on prom from the day they get accepted. Not to attend or have a proper date would be a scandal from which a young girl would never be able to recover. Imagine the chaos that erupted a few years ago when a scholarship student not only snagged the most sought after boy at Pemberley, but showed up in a dress from Macy's, the horror, and caught the eye of a New York Times reporter who ended up putting her and her story on the cover of the style section. Up to that point, most students tolerated the two scholarship students in each class, but this was too much. The following year, hazing began. Most scholarship students couldn't last more than 2 years. The program only continued because the Board of Trustees was adamant about diversifying the student body. And by diversify, they meant having students whose parents didn't earn a 7-figure yearly bonus. Plus, the school scholarship students, often called charity cases, helped boost the academic record and music program. Given the opportunities education wise, the scholarship students try to put up with the behavior. After all, this kind of experience couldn't have happened at home. So there was a price to pay for the best teachers, resources, and connections. And that price, condescension, taunts, pranks, got old pretty quickly. It's not easy, though. It only took a new scholarship girl in the junior class 2 days before she broke down in tears. Fortunately, she was alone in her room and nobody saw her, but it happened. I should know because that was my room and my tears. I was a scholarship student, a charity case, one of them. There was a giant target on my back, and I had to do everything possible to avoid getting hit. And that is chapter 1. So this book is really, yes, about prom, but it's also got a lot to do about the differences between social classes and bullying. So there's a lot going on in here. And again, though our first chapter was told from a female perspective, you do get male perspective throughout. And we do have a male main character that will pop in very, very shortly. So there's so much good going on in here. And there's also a lot of humor going on as well. So if you are interested at all, come by the library and check it out.